It was an offensive explosion for the Marlins. They put up 8 runs and beat the Phillies.
You are Locked On Marlins, your daily podcast on the Miami Marlins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Marlins. I'm your host, Jeremiah Geiger. I've been podcasting about the Marlins for 4 seasons. Go hit me up on X at Jeremiah Geiger 2. And thank you for making Locked On Marlins your first listen of the day. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is your team every single day. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel and let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comments section. And on today's show, I'm going to be breaking down the Marlins' 8-run offensive explosion. The bats came alive. They even up this 4-game series with the Phillies. It's all tied up 1-1. Xavier Edwards continues to stay hot off the injured list. Javier Sanoja is such an exciting player. Talk about them. Talk about Jesus Sanchez, because he really is a valuable piece to this lineup. Whether you like it or not, he's having a good season, and he's going to provide a lot of trade value for the Marlins. Going to dive into him. Also, Adam Mazur is going to make his Marlins debut. Not his Major League debut, but his Marlins debut. And before all that, I want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. The Marlins, heading into this game, into Tuesday's game, I record this on a Wednesday, so recapping yesterday's game, they had scored just 2 runs 5 times in the month of June. So 5 out of their 13 games heading into yesterday, they had been limited to just 2 runs. And that's not going to cut it. That just isn't feasible. That's not how an offense or a team overall is going to win. You're going to lose a lot of games when you play like that, because the pitching has to be perfect. And we all know this season, it hasn't been. It's been far from perfect. And I tweeted out in yesterday's game, I believe it was in the 5th inning. Let's see here. The 6th inning, the Marlins were down 3-2, entering the bottom of the 6th. Jesus Luzardo had been pitching well. It just felt like we were headed that way again. The Marlins just hadn't been able to get anything going other than a home run from Eric Wagaman, who had a 2-run bomb. I mean, it's great he had the 2-run homer, but I wanted to see more. And I tweeted that stat out, and then the bats came alive. I mean, they put up 3 in the bottom of the 6th, 1 in the bottom of the 7th, 2 in the 8th. They end up winning the game 8-3. They rack up 13 hits. They draw 5 walks. It was top to bottom a complete offensive performance from the 6th inning onward. And this is the version of the Miami Marlins that I want to see moving forward. I want to see these young players really reach and strive for their full potential. This is a young team, one of the youngest teams in Major League Baseball. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But when you can come together as a unit, as a complete lineup, and all the way down the board have base hits, every single starter in the lineup, aside from Heriberto Hernandez, got a hit. And then Jesus Sanchez pinch hit for Heriberto Hernandez and hit a home run. So really 9 different guys got a base hit in this one. And that's what you want to see. You want to see guys like Agustin Ramirez have a couple base knocks. You want to see Javier Sanoja hit that triple. Continue to be an electric, exciting player. On a night in which the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup, and congratulations to the Panthers, congratulations to all the fans of what's been an absolute powerhouse in the National Hockey League. This was an exciting night also for fans of Marlins baseball. This is what I want to continue to see. Cal Quantrill, let's talk a little bit about the pitching side of things. Quantrill was serviceable. He's been serviceable the last few starts, and I think he's playing himself into possibly a trade deadline piece for a contender that needs a back-end starter badly, or just another arm that you can use in different situations. He throws hard. He'll throw 95. I mean, not extremely hard, but, you know, he's got decent velocity. He's not chucking 87-mile-an-hour slow pitch softballs. You know, I mean, when he's effective, it's going to be limiting hard contact, relying on his defense, and he can rack up the occasional swing and miss and get some strikeouts. He went 4 innings, 3 earned runs, didn't walk anyone. That's key right there. Didn't walk a batter. That's what Quantrill has to do. Then he turns it over to the bullpen. Ronnie Enriquez, you know, he's been scuffling as of late. He gave up a couple of hits, but Freddie Tarnick, who's been optioned to AAA, he actually got the win in this one. He pitched a perfect inning. Tyler Phillips, scoreless inning. Anthony Bender, scoreless. Calvin Fauché, scoreless. The bullpen carried the way in the back half of this game. They didn't allow the Phillies to get back into it and make this game a slugfest. Once the Marlins kind of broke open this game, that was it, because the bullpen did their job. And there are some pieces of the bullpen that really have been effective when they're given an opportunity. I know Ronnie Enriquez has been the best reliever on the Marlins this season, even with his struggles as of late. His ERA is still a tidy 3.18. But Anthony Bender, I don't think Bender gets enough credit for what he's done. He got a hold, a scoreless inning, only 1 hit, a 2.45 ERA. I know on Sunday he struggled a lot with command, but he was dialed in this one. No walks. Anytime you go through a game and collectively this pitching staff didn't walk a batter, that is a huge, huge positive note. I can't stand walks. Walks are the easiest way to open the door for your opponent to climb back into the game. You get a leadoff walk here, a leadoff walk there, and that's often what hurts starters. It's what hurts pitching staffs and bullpens. In fact, that's what hurt Jesus Luzardo, because in the bottom of the 6th, when the Marlins scored their first three runs against Luzardo, they drew back-to-back walks. Eric Wagaman and Connor Norby both put together good at-bats. They don't chase. They get on base, and both of them eventually come to score. So this is what you really want to see from a young team. Competitiveness and just not inflicting self-harm. You don't want the errors. You don't want the free passes. And if you can do that as a defense, as a pitching staff, and then let the offense and the young talent on this offensive side of the ball in the lineup just do their thing, then you're going to win some games. And that's the formula. When you're all clicking, it can be really fun. It can be really exciting. Coming up next, I'm going to talk more about some individuals who stood out in this game. Xavier Edwards, Javier Sanoja, and our friend Jesus Sanchez. That's all coming up right after this. And this episode is brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. Do you ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, baseball games, merchandise, it's easy to lose track, and that's where Monarch Money comes in, because it's your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. When it comes to Monarch and spending, you're going to find yourself spending money on things that add up very quickly. Food delivery can be one of them. I know that's one of the things for me, whether that's DoorDash or just, going out to eat. But Monarch Money is going to help you budget smarter and save more, so you can pocket more of more cash into your bank account. And instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track your spending, and even plan long-term goals, where managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. Also, you can track your shared and personal accounts, set those goals, and stay on the same page without all the extra added stress. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. And as always, I appreciate all the everyday listeners out there being part of the Locked On Marlins crew. If this is your first time listening to Locked On Marlins, if you're a Marlins fan, if you know somebody that cares deeply about this baseball team, hey, let them know about the podcast. Let them know to subscribe. Make sure you guys are subscribed as well. It helps me out a lot. Xavier Edwards and Javier Sanoja, two of the more diminutive players in terms of stature on this team, but don't let that confuse you with their effectiveness, because they were great in this one. A combined 5 hits. X had 3. Javier Sanoja had a couple, including his first major league triple. That was awesome to see. He ripped the ball in the left center gap and just got on his horse and went all the way around the bases, slid into third base, comes up, pounds his chest. He's amped up. The dugout's amped up. I was amped up. Let's go. So Javier Sanoja, I love watching him play baseball. He can play all around the diamond. He can play second. He can play third. He'll play center field. And in this one, he started in center field, made a nice sliding catch, kind of redeemed himself from the first game of the series in which he made a sliding attempt to catch the ball, but it kind of popped out of his mitt and got away from him. He redeemed himself in this one. He plays defense so smoothly. He's so athletic, naturally athletic. He can look the part at really any position. I think you could throw him in at catcher, and he'd be a good catcher as well. Xavier Edwards now, moving on to him, his average is quietly approaching 300. He's up to 295. He's going to rack up those base hits. When X is at his best, it's a very simple approach. He goes up there and he just goes with the pitch. He doesn't try to do too much with it. You know, he's going to slap it the other way. If you're facing velocity, he could be 98, it could be 100. He's just going to Luis Arias it, very Luis Arias-like, in going with the pitch and just kind of putting the bat on the ball, and it's going to go into the outfield. He finds the holes in the defense, and he hits it where they ain't. That's what I love about Xavier Edwards' approach as a hitter. And then on the base paths, I know it hasn't been crazy in terms of stolen base numbers, but he did steal a bag in this one. He stole second base. That's his 12th stolen base of the season. You know, there's an outside chance here that, well, it's not really an outside chance if you think about it. He could get to 30 stolen bases pretty easily, maybe 35 and push 40 if they really, you know, give him the green light in the back half of the season. I don't see why not. He's a very smart base runner. He's not the fleetest of foot. He's not going to compare to, say, Billy Hamilton in terms of pure speed, but the jumps he takes, the reads he has on pitchers, and when you work with the coaching staff and find those tendencies, that's going to do him well and the Marlins well in the second half of the season. Because I do think that when X is at his best, that is exactly what you want out of a leadoff hitter. Somebody who's going to set the tone early on. He's not going to hit home runs. I would be surprised if Xavier Edwards finishes this season with a single homer. But if he can just continue collecting singles, get on base, steal bags, move into scoring position, and then start scoring those runs, I mean, that's how you want to start a ball game. That's how you want to start an inning. He is the prototypical throwback leadoff hitter, and I absolutely love it. I think that he's going to be here for a while once he stays hot. I was worried about him early on because the hit was just not there. The hits weren't coming. The average was way down from what I was used to seeing. But much like good hitters, I think of Juan Soto, who started his Mets tenure just just not good. I mean, he was getting criticized left and right by the fans, the media, and he just stays the course. And that's what X has to do. I'm not comparing Xavier Edwards to Juan Soto, but what I am doing is saying that his skill set, when utilized, is so valuable to the Marlins that he can be here for a long time and just continue to do his thing. And you pencil him in that leadoff spot, and you're going to be happy. I'm happy with 3 hits. It's really great to see him get going, coming off of the injured list when he hurt his back. The other player I want to mention is Jesus Sanchez. All right, Jesus Sanchez has been here for a while, guys. I mean, there is no mistake about it. It felt like the majority of his career, he really never reached his true potential as a hitter. You know, the raw power was always there, but he's never hit 20 homers in a season. He set a career high back in 2024, so last season with 18, but made his major league debut in 2020. So this is his fifth full season as a Marlin. I think Jesus Sanchez is playing himself into serious trade consideration. And I think that you're going to be surprised at the prospect return that he can bring you back at the trade deadline. This isn't me saying I think Jesus Sanchez is a bad player. I don't want him on the Marlins. No, it could not be further from the truth. I'm the biggest Jesus Sanchez fan out there. I love the energy he brings to the game. I love the power. And frankly, I think he's underappreciated this season in particular. Right now, he's got an OPS plus of 104, so above average, OPS 747. He's hitting 255. If he can get that a little higher, I mean, right now he's sitting at his career norms, and that was after a very slow start in which nothing was really going his way at the plate. And in part, I give that to injury. Anytime you come off the injured list, there's going to be a grace period, so to speak. You're not just going to come off flying colors, here I am, and tear up the world. But I'm really happy with Jesus Sanchez and his production this season. I do think he gets traded. I think that's really a done deal at this point. And the more success he has, the more confident I am in saying that. Last year, there really wasn't a market for him. Otherwise, I do think he would have been dealt. But this year, when you look at some teams that need a corner outfielder, the Padres feel like a perfect fit. The Giants, maybe they did trade for Devers. I don't know if they're going to trade for another bat. But Sanchez is a performer. He's producing. And there's going to be a contender that looks at that and says, we could use a guy that's going to mash right-handers, be a fourth outfielder, be a starter, have a platoon going on, and then get some postseason at-bats. Wouldn't that be something? Jesus Sanchez on a contender getting those postseason at-bats. I mean, I'm always the type of person that's going to root for those former Marlins to have success. I mean, against right-handers, that's his MO. That's what he does. He's hitting 271, OPS plus of 116. That's well above average. It's not groundbreaking. It's nothing, it's not Aaron Judge-like, but that's not who he is. He has a clear role. He has a clear skill set, and that's to mash righties. There's going to be a team that offers something for him, something substantial. And furthermore, it doesn't just have to be a Jesus Sanchez trade, just a one player going away from the Marlins. You could package him. Think about a potential Edward Cabrera trade or a bullpen arm, maybe an Anthony Bender or a Calvin Fauché. And you package him with Jesus Sanchez. You pay some of that salary. That's how this rebuild is going to accelerate, is injecting talent, not just with the Sandy Alcantara trade, although he is the biggest trade chip you still have, but there's other players on the Marlins that can bring you back some value. I'm still going to be sad when he gets traded. I was sad when Brian De La Cruz got traded. That's the fan. That's the fan in me. I love this team, and you grow attached to these players. like I said, Jesus Sanchez made his Marlins debut in 2020. I mean, for the last 4 or 5 seasons, he's been a consistent Miami Marlin in the lineup. So it's going to be tough to see him go, but it's necessary for the next step of the rebuild. And I'm excited to see if he continues performing well, what the Marlins can get back for him. And the last thing I'll say on this is, I know some people might take this the wrong way, that I'm just here, let's trade everyone and get a bunch of value back. Prospects are the only thing that matters. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But it's a business. The Marlins are in a rebuild, and they have to do what's best for the future of this team. That's why I am pro trade Sandy Alcantara. It doesn't lessen the sting of watching one of your favorite pitchers of all time leave your favorite baseball team, but it's what has to happen for the Marlins to be successful. A new Marlin is making his his Marlins debut on Wednesday in just a couple of hours as I'm recording this. Adam Mazur is going to be wearing the teal, wearing the Marlins script across his chest. Going to talk about him and what to expect from the newest Marlins starter right after this. Guys, there is nothing better than waking up in the morning and grabbing a fresh cup of coffee, because that's what makes your day go. And if it's that essential to your day, why would you settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Whether you're gearing up for back-to-back meetings, taking the kids to their after-school activities, or tackling your endless to-do list, your morning sets the tone for it all, and that's why it should start with the perfect cup of coffee crafted just for you, Trade. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the United States, delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over purist, they've got the roast you love. From my experience with Trade, it's really, really cool. They send you a quiz, and you're going to take a 1-minute quiz just to see what you like, what flavors are your preference, and then they're going to send you a bag of your personalized coffee. This is what I have. It smells really, really good. Rich chocolate, cinnamon, toffee, plum comforting. It's really good. It's called the Dad Bod. Dad Bod from Sightseer Coffee. So if you get your first, you take that quiz, you get your first, coffee in the mail, and if you don't like it, your first match isn't perfect, Trade is going to replace it for free until they get it just right. Free is always better. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's trade.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. Locked On Marlins isn't just on the YouTube channel. If you're on the go, you're at the gym, you're in the car, you can listen to it on any of the podcast streaming platforms out there: Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, whichever one you prefer. Locked On Marlins is there. And it's time to talk about Adam Mazur. He is making his Marlins debut. Got called up from AAA Jacksonville. He's had a pretty good year down there. 3-4, 11 games started, 12 games total, pitching to a 3.62 ERA and 59 2/3. Struck out 55. What I do want to say is expectations for Adam Mazur. I don't think you should expect him to go super deep into this ball game against a very good Phillies lineup. I mean, this isn't the Durham Bulls. This isn't the Gwinnett Stripers. This is a huge difference. And he hasn't pitched in the major leagues since early on last season when he had a short stint with the Padres. Adam Mazur prides himself in control. He's a very, very good pitcher when it comes to limiting the walks, although this season it has taken a slight step back due to what he's been used to. In 2024, a season ago, his walks per 9 was 1.74. And now this season, it's elevated just a tad to 2.41. So if he can't command the strike zone as effectively as he's used to, then it's going to be a shorter outing. Maybe the Marlins bring in Jansen Junk to work some bulk relief. That's kind of my expectation, because either way, I don't think Adam Mazur is going to go up there and throw 6-7 innings in his Marlins debut. That's not how they operate and handle their starters, much less their younger starting pitching. But either way, it's really exciting for Mazur. Gets his second crack at Major League Baseball. He struggled in his first stint with the Padres. His ERA was over 7, but that's a lifetime ago. It's completely different now. There is really no comparison. He's in a new organization. He's got a deep arsenal. He's going to throw the fastball. It's a pretty good fastball. It's going to reach about 96 miles an hour. He's got a sweeper. He's got a slider. He's got a lot of pitches that he can choose from and attack this Phillies lineup. So I'm excited. I want to see how he commands the strike zone. You know, being a pitcher that his effectiveness really stems from control. If he gets into trouble with command, then it's going to be an early night from him. If not, and he's getting those ground balls, those flyouts, those pop-ups, and then getting some strikeouts, he could pitch 5 innings and get himself a win in his Marlins debut. Wouldn't that be something? He has a chance also to stick around in the rotation. Remember, when Max Meyer went on the injured list, that opened up a spot in the 5-man rotation, because when Yuri Perez came back, he's got one, Sandy Alcantara, and then Ryan Weathers goes down. So Ryan Weathers' injury actually really opened up that final spot in the rotation, which for the last couple times through, the Marlins have been utilizing a bullpen game. And you see an opener, and then it's just kind of everybody. Cade Gibson, we saw Anthony Veneziano, Jansen Junk getting bulk relief, which I love because that kind of makes him a glorified starter. But I think it's time where the Marlins, really consider filling in that final spot in the rotation. I don't want them to just roll out bullpen games here through the trade deadline. Like that's not feasible. That's not a method to success, because you're just going to be burning through arms and taxing the bullpen even further. I think it comes down to Jansen Junk, and this is a good opportunity for Adam Mazur to make his mark and try to claim a spot in the rotation if he has a really good outing tonight against a tough Phillies lineup. In a corresponding move for Adam Mazur to be on the 26-man, Freddie Tarnick was optioned to AAA. What I think is pretty cool, in the first 2 games of Freddie Tarnick's Marlins career, he earned a save and then he earned a win. So he's 1-0 with a save in 2 games pitched in a Marlins uniform. He pitched well too. I think Freddie Tarnick is somebody that you're going to see as well in the next couple of months. So there's going to be a lot of change on this team. It's going to be fluid, especially when guys start getting traded or if there's another injury. The 5th spot in the rotation, the 3rd competitor would be Valente Belloso, but I think the Marlins like Valente Belloso more out of the bullpen, where he can give you 2-3 quality innings, stretch it out as long as you really need. He could get 4 or 5. I mean, he is a starter, but he's that middle relief guy. Reminds me of Daniel Castano from a couple years ago, the Italian stallion. And I'm a huge fan of Belloso. Got to interview him when I was down in Miami earlier this year. Great guy, great personality. But I do think this comes down to Jansen Junk and then Adam Mazur. And I'm excited for Adam Mazur, product of the University of Iowa, the Hawkeyes. So he's a Big Ten kid. He's he's used to the colder weather. He's from Minnesota, pitched in Iowa. So weather's not going to affect him, and it's certainly not going to affect him in sunny, beautiful Lone Depot Park. I wonder if they're going to have the roof open for this one, or it's just going to be shut, because when the roof's open, it's a beautiful, beautiful time. Either way, it's always exciting when another Marlins prospect makes his debut. That's going to do it for this edition of Locked On Marlins. For your second listen of the day, go check out the new Locked On MLB Game Night, where they recap every game of the day over on the Locked On MLB channel. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay locked on, and let's go fish.